coming up on tonight's show, we will be talking about the derby. Well, we will be getting Sean's lowdown on the Derby Day demolition at the Emirates. We'll be trying to get Josh to talk about Leeds 0, Aston Villa 0 for 2 minutes. West Ham United's win over Wolverhampton Wanderers, and of course, the Manchester derby. I hope you are all well watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you're new. Check out a ton of sponsors, SRM, Carver and Son, by clicking the link in the description down below, as well as voting for us in this year's Football Content Awards by clicking the link in the description down below as well. Firstly, let's say hello to our guests. The normal, they are here tonight. They're both here, so there's no complaints. Firstly, Josh, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. And Sean, how are you?
Yeah, really, really good, mate. Not too bad at all. Can't complain.
Good. What's that now? 17 Premier League meetings between the two sides and not one away win?
Yeah, well, one of your listeners said the other day, asked me on your chats on one of your shows about a North London derby, and that was always said. Home side usually does well, so
yeah. Fire away with your review of it then.
Well, the short answer is didn't expect to win. Would have took a point at the start. Same as if an Arsenal come to our place in January, I'd expect to beat them. Don't know. I just think we didn't start the game very well. Got to 1-0. I think when we got the 1-0, I think we had a good 20-minute spell where we looked like we had a few good chances. Probably could have nicked another one. Lloris usually has one or two howlers a year, and happened to be in this game. He did come into this off the back of an injury, so I don't know whether that was on his mind or not. He didn't even he went to the French squad but got sent home straight away with a knock, so he's a bit of a doubt for the game. So I don't know whether that was a minor thing. Then obviously Emerson Royale got sent off. It was a daft tackle, but we always go on about decisions. We've seen them not been given as red this season. We've seen worse than that not been given as red. We've seen worse than that go to VAR and only given a yellow. And this, for some reason, didn't even go to VAR. So I don't know.
You can't moan. Those studs were up, and that was it weren't nice, was it?
No, but we've seen worse.
Yeah,
it was sort of on the side of the leg, wasn't it? Sort of coming from behind a bit. We've seen studs up higher on the shin in a minute. I think it was it Van Dijk? I'm sure it was
Van Dijk or Trent or one of them.
Yeah, and they've only hasn't been a red. So I can understand why Conte had a bit of a kick-off again after, because like everyone says about inconsistency. And but that was it then. I don't think Arsenal are playing brilliant and not understand the overexcitement of them at the moment. But if I think the way they're keeping the ball at the moment, if you go down to 10 men, you're going to struggle to claw it back. So I think Conte knew that. He made I think he made 4 subs in one hit, and just to keep it just about respectable 3-1. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, it's I forgot it more or less instantly, really. It was sort of what I expected. It's disappointing again. Tottenham had a spell, I can't remember, it was probably about a year or two ago, where we were letting a lot of goals in by individual errors. And that's what that was again, really. So that was a shame. But other than that, yeah, it probably, due to events, I think it was a fair result. I think if Lloris doesn't make that mistake, I think the game probably ends in a 1-1 draw, because I don't think they didn't exactly batter the Tottenham goal. Lloris didn't want like diving all over the place, but yeah, we'll hopefully beat them in January, and then hopefully when there's a bit more riding on it.
Yeah. To be fair, I thought Arsenal did have a big clutch in it, and to be fair, there were plenty of individual errors in it. You've got the Emerson one, you've got the Lloris one, you've got the Gabriel one for the Spurs penalty as well. That wasn't great, and on another day he wouldn't have done that. I thought Arsenal were very good, to be honest. I thought Spurs didn't come up with much of an answer. I think Conte won't be very happy about that, that's for sure. But I'm sure you will try and regain those rights back in January, Sean. Let's head into the chat and see who we've got tonight. Sharky, hope you are well. 14 months as a channel member. Thank you very much, Sharky. Even all good win for our boys on Saturday. Certainly, we'll get to that a little bit later on. Good evening to everybody. Gary, hope you are well. Sharky saying hello. Dad says, agreed, Sean, the Van Dijk challenge was worse. Let's scroll down. Grandad says it was Van Dijk on Onana, got yellow, never even went to VAR. Yeah, honestly, we could sit here all night talking about it, couldn't we? It is what it is. It is what it is. Josh, I'm going to come to you. Southampton 1, Everton 2, a comeback on the South Coast for Everton.
Yeah, I think I thought I was going to see it at 3 o'clock, and from what I've heard and what I've seen, Everton did play quite well first off. Again, a bit like West Ham, it was just really nothing special, but it was a decent fight. Southampton took the lead, didn't they? It was Joe Aribo, I think that was his first goal for them. And I think they turned it around pretty quickly, didn't they? Dwight McNeil and Connor Cody. I don't usually rate McNeil. I think he's a bit slow for a winger. He's got a good cross on him, that's about it. But what did take his goal well, it was a very good finish. And they're beginning to find a bit of form now, Everton, aren't they? I think that's 2 wins on the bounce now. They're slowly going to tail. They look very solid at the back with Cody, Tarkowski. Them 2 centre-backs look really solid. Solid in midfield with Garner Gay coming back, and Onana looks like a really good player. I think they've put a really solid team together. I think Frank, I thought he'd keep him up last season, but I didn't think he'd be able to take him forward. But he looks like he is doing quite a good job, and they are looking good for the future. Everton, they're definitely 2 wins in the bounce now. I think they're up to like 11th or 10th maybe now. I think they're definitely above us. So yeah, they're definitely improving. I thought Southampton, they were shocking against us the other week when we played them in that absolutely dreadful game where it must have been one shot, one goal for Villa, no shots, no goal for them. It's just an absolutely appalling game. Didn't think they were anything special against them, and either they got Aribo took his goal well. Don't think they created too much apart from that, and I think they will be a team who will be down here this season. I think they'll have enough to stay up, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere near the top half. It's a good win for Everton, and I think in a good form now, aren't they?
Yeah, fair play to Everton. They were, to come back from a goal behind, away from home. Fair play to them. Southampton, I think, are in trouble already. Could this be the season that they do perhaps drop down? Because I just don't see. They were rubbish against you. Looks like they weren't fantastic against Everton. Losing after being a goal up at home to Everton isn't a great thing to have, is it, to be honest? But yeah, Southampton needs to turn it around quickly, and relegation was stamped on Everton at the start of the season. Frank Lampard has come out and he's kind of took that stamp off, and he's started really well with Everton. Let's head into the chat and see who else we've got. Jay, I hope you're well. Are the wins coming in for the boys now? Surely, fingers crossed we've started now. But you never know, do you? Grandland says 2 wins, 2 wins on the wrong one, away from home. Roll on next home game this Sunday against Man United. I tell you what, anybody can go and give Man United a game at the moment, because you just don't know what side's going to turn up. They'll batter teams, Man United, because they've got some quality there, but they also will get battered as they did as they did yesterday. But James, hope you are well. Happy Hammeretson as well. Hope you're well. Everybody saying hello. Terry, hope you're well, sir, as well. Right, let's move on. What have we got next? And Fulham 1, Newcastle 4. The Geordies hit 4 on the road, Sean, against your beloved Fulham.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that this was a bit one-sided. Yeah, you can't knock Newcastle. They're putting in some good performances, good results. I do like Fulham as well, as you know. And I think, haven't you got them next?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, especially after you go and playing. I'm sure you're playing some pub team on Thursday, aren't you, this week?
Anderlecht. That's not a pub team. Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, that's quite a decent team. I tell you what, one thing, if you Spurs lot are going out to Frankfurt, that's a horrible place. So yeah, you're playing the pub team.
It's a horrible place, but Frankfurt in the Europa League is not the same as Frankfurt in the Champions League, because teams just want it more in the top competition. It's just as simple as that. I know we've gone off track a bit, but on Anderlecht, for a Belgian, they're a Belgian giant, aren't they, Anderlecht? How did they end up in that Europa Conference? Surely come on. Give the flipping competition a bit of respect. It's not going to any. I'm just thinking, if they must have been the 3rd best Belgian team.
I'll have a look for you. Fulham whatever. Fulham or Newcastle 4.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of this, and link it all to West Ham a bit. I think everyone was sort of saying, will Newcastle nudge ahead of West Ham this season, weren't they? I think that was a lot of the talking point. I think they probably will. I think they just look a bit more exciting. I think the manager's a bit more forward thinking than your boys. But what I will say, in general, with the league, I read a few of your comments. Some said, surely Arsenal are the second best team in the league. Well, I think that's obvious that they are at the moment. But I don't know about you, but I don't, what are we now, 8 games in? I don't think there's many teams. It seems the league's quite compact if you look at it. Like Bournemouth are up on 9 points, nearly up mid-table. Look, I don't think there's many teams where you think they're playing really well. Not yet. I just think a lot of teams are taking a long time to get going in this league. Like Liverpool, they're 10 points behind Man City already. Look, you got United stuttering and going. Tottenham picking up points, knowing they're playing their best. Your lot probably must be the worst start you've had in 2 or 3 seasons. Probably 3-4 seasons. Newcastle, yeah, they're the up and coming side. They're getting some good results, but I think they're a bit hit and miss still. I don't think many teams are even close to their best yet. 8 games in, I think we just expected it. I don't know. I expected a few more teams to look at Chelsea. They sacked the manager already. Do you know what I mean? That's another one. I think I just expected more teams just to look a bit more impressive. Even Villa, we'll get on to them in a minute. Like Gerrard's been there, 8 months now? Has he been there? He had the whole pre-season, got a few of his players in. I think we might have expected a bit better from them. It's definitely been a slow burner this season. I've sat through some absolute stinker games so far. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know it is it's going to be a weird season with a World Cup. I think the managers might even have one little eye on that already, maybe, because other than take out Man City destroying sides and take out Arsenal playing all right. I don't think they played brilliant against us. I don't think they look a lot better than they did last season. Really, not really. But that's about the best of it in the league at the moment. So it's a slow burner. I do like Fulham. They can play brilliant stuff, Fulham. And I think they will give you a good game at the weekend.
And Happy Hamrat says Mitrovic is out for a while, isn't he? He picked up some sort of injury. I'm not quite sure the severity of it, but that's massive for them if he's out for any considerable amount of time. Almiron's goal was an absolute pearler. It was a cracking goal. And just about the Belgian league, Sean. So Anderlecht finished 3rd last year. Club Brugge and Union SG were above them by quite a considerable amount. So 3rd place in the Belgian league gets you Europa Conference League. There we go. Right then, let's take some more of your comments. James says Anderlecht must be as bad as the Spuds last year. Then easy 3 points. Usual suspect. Evening. Right then, let's carry on. And next up, Sean, I tell you what, it's not your game, but this game wins the most forgettable game of the weekend, and it is Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0. I apologise, Josh, because you've got this and you've got the Villa game, so fill your boots.
Right. So basically, there weren't a lot that went on, but one thing I do want to say is that something we don't usually see for the penalty for Bournemouth. You know the way they always go to when you go to get sent to the monitor by the VAR. They always usually overturn their own decision because they've just basically, I think, been forced by VAR to do it. But the referee actually stuck with his original decision for once. Like usually, as soon as they go over to the monitor, it's they overrule it or like just go with the VAR's decision. But the referee actually stuck with his original decision this weekend. So that's good to see. It's improvement.
Step in the right direction, slowly.
Yeah. Honest,
we know why that was, don't we?
Why was that?
Well, because the hoo-ha about a month ago when when all the West Ham fans are crying about the penalty, the goal being disallowed. Chelsea.
If it was Spurs, you'd be doing exactly the same.
It is exactly that though. It's that weekend. VAR and the officials probably destroyed that weekend more than any weekend since VAR's come in. And a lot of pundits were saying the referees need to take charge, and that is what's happened. They've clearly had a little chat, and that's other than a couple of minor things, we didn't really hear a lot about VAR at the weekend, did we? I think the thing's
And
been
just
going
to
on.
add to that as well, the referee was somebody I've never heard of, Thomas Bramall. So it's not your usual Moss, Taylor, So somebody new's come in and they've decided to jazz things up a bit. Josh, anything else you'd like to add?
I do, yeah, I do like that. I think, it's definitely improvement. It's what we want to see. Like, you're the referee, it's up to you, you control the game. That's what it is, really. That's how it should be. To be honest, that was the only really thing to talk about in that game. I know when he missed the sitter, I know that I've just heard that, to be honest. I think I've seen it, can't really remember it. But yeah, it's just Bournemouth v Brentford, really, isn't it? No one really cares too much. It's a clean sheet for both sides. I think Bournemouth will take the point. You never know, it could be crucial for them at the end of the season. But yeah, it's just I did like that with the referee. That's all to say, really.
Yeah. Terry says Thomas Gravel. No, his name's Thomas Bramall. Never heard of him, but hopefully they can get him in over the Mosses of the world. Let's have a look. Let's see if I recognise his picture. Oh, crikey. No. I don't think I might have seen him before, but no, he's not a mainstream referee, if that's the term. Usual suspect. I hope you are well. Good on the ref in this game. Exactly. Usual suspect says rumours Villa have approached Poch. We'll get onto that and Villa in just a second. But next up, Gallagher goes back and haunts the Eagles. Sean.
Yeah. I don't know. The main thing that bugged me in this game was Gallagher refusing to celebrate after getting the winner. He was only on bloody loan there last year. That is soft. That is.
Oh no, but just let him do it.
I got no
go
time
on, Josh.
for that.
You rip into him.
I got no time for that at all. I got no time for that. I'll be honest. Even if he played for Palace for 3 years, I don't want you doing that. I don't get that at all. So it's one of my biggest bugs in football. That
he
is.
would have got a lot of stick off to all the Palace fans, wouldn't he? If he went like mad after he scored. I didn't expect him to celebrate, to be honest.
It's respect, Sean. It's respect.
No, from having one season on loan, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever seen that before. If he'd done 5 years at Palace,
does Ruud could still be like?
Well, Lingard did. Lingard didn't celebrate when he came and scored against us.
You sure?
I'm sure Ronaldo pushed him over to the fans, but he put his hands up.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me at all. I think it's sad. He scored an 89th minute winner to get Chelsea out of the mud. He's trying to build his Chelsea career, which I thought was. I didn't know if he'd get a chance. I thought he did a bit out of his depth for playing for Chelsea. I'd celebrate.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add for that game, Sean?
I do avoid Chelsea games, so I haven't got a lot to say really. I'm having a hard time with Chelsea at the moment because I'm a big Graham Potter fan, and I'll be honest, a lot of I don't know what's going to happen with Conte at Tottenham, but a lot of Tottenham fans had eyes on Potter to be the next one, if that makes sense. And I think we said that a big club might come. I didn't expect it to be Chelsea. I didn't think they'd go for him, to be honest, but fair play they have. So yeah, Palace aren't picking up many points. They're third, fourth bottom. I think they are.
Yeah.
But again, the pack's quite tight. I think, like I said, no one's really playing great. I think, and they're down in the pack. Back to a minute about Bournemouth. They're like I said earlier, they're up. I think they're on 9 points, and after that 9-0 drubbing by Liverpool, I think they're 4 games unbeaten now as well. Yeah. So you can't knock them in that. And you mentioned Southampton a minute ago. I watched quite a lot of Southampton games. Problem with them is they're too nice. They're a very easy team to play against. So if you just rough them up a bit or get in their faces, I think they've got a young side. So I think they're going to struggle. I think a lot of people don't. A lot of Saints fans don't want the manager anymore, but they've built a young, physically not very big and strong squad now. So
and they brought in a bunch of nobodies, haven't they? Who just haven't really done anything.
They've brought in 3 kids from Man City, and I think at least 2 of them have got buyback clauses that Man City can activate after 2 years or something daft. So that's, I don't know if that's does that make Southampton look like a feeder club a little bit to Man City? I don't know, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of not celebrating when you score a goal because your new club pays your wages and he's only on loan, so. I don't know, bit sad really, but there you are. Let's move on from that nonsense.
Okie dokie. Let's take some more of your comments. On the Conor Gallagher, the two young lads will absolutely be correct. It was respect to the Palace fans. I'm with Sean. I would celebrate. James says Jake and Josh are growing up too fast. Trying to encourage a pension fund pretty sharply before it's too late. Are you going to be adding to that pension fund, Sean?
No, mate. Times are hard at the moment, I'm afraid.
Moving on, then I've got a treat for you, Josh. Liverpool 3, Brighton 3. You got some goals. Fire away, Josh.
Yeah, Liverpool's difficult start to the season continues, and I think it is nice to see them struggle again for a bit. And as I say, I always like to see the big team fans have a good moan because they're not used to it. But yeah, I thought it was a Trossard hat trick, and the worst thing about it, he was on my bench in the Fantasy Premier League, so that wasn't good. But yeah, he was just unreal. But as for Liverpool, I think the defence is all over the shop. I don't know what's happened to Van Dijk this season, but he's been all over the place. Alexander-Arnold, I've never really rated him as a defender. I don't know why Liverpool don't play him midfield, because he's really good going forward, but he can't defend to save his life. It's just the whole defence looked really ropey. And it weren't just the 3 goals Brighton had. Alisson was forced into a few really good saves as well. So I thought Brighton were the better team, to be honest, from what I saw. Luis Diaz is their only hope really at the minute. I think he's by far the best player. Salah's been off it this season. Nunes, it's just ridiculous. And you get Haaland for 50 million and then he's like 85 million or whatever with add-ons. It's just unbelievable. I'm not saying he's awful, but for that price, I don't know, it might come good, but so far it's not looking too good. And they did turn it around, Liverpool, didn't they? They got it back to 3-2, and then fair play to Brighton, they fought back again to 3-3, and they've had a very good start to the season. I haven't really heard too much about the new manager. I know he's managed some foreign leagues. I don't think he's had an English job before, but yeah, that's a promising start, definitely. I think they're like 5th or 4th in the league, aren't they? They've had a very good start. I think they will fall off it eventually, but I definitely think they'll manage to get top 10. And fair play to them as well, because they've lost the 2 best players, in my opinion, in Cucurella and Basuma, and they're still doing really, really well. So yeah, I think Liverpool, as for them, I think they're about 10th in the league now. It's not a good start for them. They haven't really, apart from Nunes, they haven't spent the money. They're crying out for a midfielder. And I think, yeah, I think they will come back, but I definitely don't think they'll be in a title fight this season. I think top 4 they'll get, but that's about it.
Yeah. Just with Liverpool, I was talking to a couple of Liverpool fans today, and I think we just came to the agreement that Liverpool have been worked out because if the centre backs aren't really or you can catch them sleeping, just get a couple of pacey wingers, get them in behind Robertson and Trent, and you're sorted then, because Trossard made Trent look like an absolute donut, putting him on his backside for one of the goals, I think. And Liverpool have been found out in midfield as well. You know, some games where they're starting flipping Milner and Henderson together, that's just not going to work at Liverpool. And I agree, Josh, I do like seeing Liverpool fans have a good moan because it's thoroughly amusing. But yeah, carry on like that, Liverpool would be good. Mid-table, sort you out on it. But yeah, obviously at some point you think they will come good, but at the moment they have been worked out. And let's see, because Klopp's not really been in this situation before. It's all been pretty much, first, second, third. It hasn't been too much of an issue. Let's see how Klopp handles this now, because he's been untouchable. Let's see how he handles a situation where it's not going too well at the start of the season.
I see a stat or something saying that Klopp, it's always usually a 7th season where it goes wrong. Like his 7th season at Mainz in Germany, he got relegated with them. His 7th season at Dortmund, he come like 7th or something, and now it looked like it could be all falling apart for the 7th season at Liverpool. So maybe it's the 7th season curse for Klopp. I don't know. It's just a statistic, but you never know.
Yeah. Trini says Liverpool will finish above Brighton this season. I tell you what, if Brighton finish above Liverpool, that will be something. Yeah, but fair play to Brighton. They've gone up to Liverpool. New manager in. Not a great period for the club, losing Graham Potter, and they're still carrying on how they did do, and fair play to them. But Grandad as well said, Josh, Liverpool's struggles continue. I'm only slightly biased. Yeah, no one likes Liverpool today. Right, next up, let's talk about the only win on the screen this weekend. The first time I've been able to say that this season. West Ham United 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. I'll say my little piece first before I can see Sean is ready as he gets his West Ham smirk onto his face. But yeah, it wasn't fantastic. I didn't expect it to be fantastic, but it was better than we have in the last few weeks. That's for sure. We came out and we were better. We were putting our foot in. We looked a little bit better on the ball. I thought counter-attacking wise, I thought we did look better. Wolves aren't they haven't got nothing to shout about. They can't get any goals from anywhere for love nor money, and they just can't seem to get anything to work. Costa worried me at some point. So did Traore. Wolves should have scored. Really, Costa in a couple of weeks will score that header. That that's a number 9's dream, that is, and he puts it wide. But a couple of players coming back into some form desperately needed. Souček, I thought, was better. He was actually putting his foot in. He wasn't just aimlessly jogging around. I thought he was a little bit better. Bowen, really, really well taken goal. Turned and drilled it exactly where it needed to go. So hopefully we can get him back into some form. Skamaka, if you don't shoot, you do not score. I thought from the service, considering the service I got, I thought he was good. A couple of good flicks on and he scored. That's a striker's job at the end of the day. So that was good to see him get on the score sheet in the Premier League for the first time. And yeah, overall, I was happy with the performance. A much needed 3 points. And now we can go into some games where we can be a little bit more confident now. The Fulham game, they are lacking Mitrovic and Chalobah, I think, who got sent off as well at home. We realistically should be picking up points there. Southampton away, that'll be a little bit more difficult, I think, but they're not great at the moment. Most teams are beating Southampton. Then we've got Bournemouth at home. We should be beating them. Man United, I think we've got Liverpool and Man United away in there. They're difficult games, but they are beatable at the moment. So, I think now, as long as we don't look back and we just look forward, as I said in my video on Saturday night, let's just look forward now, and hopefully we can kickstart our season and get going, because it's desperately needed for the fans, the players, and of course the gaffer David Moyes as well. Sean, I know you watched it or watched a bit of it. What did you make of it?
I did watch it, mate. I was up in Kent for the weekend. There's a few West Ham fans in. I was at a party. A few West Ham fans in, to be honest. So you got the result, didn't you? You needed the result. You've probably had a few unlucky moments in games. I think you obviously got your bit of luck with a deflection. But probably not going in if you don't take the deflection. I don't think. I actually thought Wolves were the better side first half, to be honest. Just played the better football. I think your keeper was tested a few times. It reminded me a little bit of games when I've watched you in the Europa Conference and the Europa League last year, where who was it you played the other week in the Europa Conference when you won 3-2 against that really
in Denmark?
Yeah, I know they're at home, but when they had the ball, I thought they were passing it around quite nicely and at times looked the better side, but then in little glimpses, then West Ham showed a bit of extra aggression and class and just got the goals at the right times. You know what I mean? It reminded me a bit of like one of them, really. And I know the Wolves manager's now been sacked, but I think that probably sums Wolves up.
That's what we do. We sack managers, Sean.
They got some decent players, Wolves, and they can play great football and they can look really pretty. But a bit like these Europa Conference sides, maybe just lack that punch when you need it. And that's what the game reminded me of a little bit. I think we've just listed all the games you've got coming up, and I think they're all winnable. But I think you're going to have to play better than you did on Saturday night to get much from any of them. It's a good result. You've needed the result. It might give you a bit of confidence. One thing I do think improved you a lot, and I know we've had a few discussions about, is it Kehrer, the defender? I think you were saying how he's great. He was been a couple of weeks ago. And I pointed out he's been largely at fault for about 4 or 5 goals. Okay, and he has, and I can reel them all off quite easy. For all the good he's done, I did think because you were short of centre halves, he was almost chucked in by Moyes. And I think
that's fair. Yeah,
and I know I know he plays right back for the national team a bit. Yeah. And I think bringing in the dependable Dorsey, didn't he, the centre half. So it's almost gone back to the centre-back partnership he had last year. He's trusted. Kehrer probably more at home at right back. I think he looked positionally better at right back. I didn't think you were great on the left. Is it Cresswell played, didn't he? Was it?
Yeah,
But
and
no, I think
Cornet for parts of it.
I think your left side still needs work, to be honest. But yeah, I thought the defence just looked a bit more organised.
See, you do criticise Balin Dawson quite often, and look, he comes back in. The blocks were there. Dependable Dawson.
You got your bog standard, basic, blood and thunder centre half, isn't he? But I have had an issue with you with Kerr at centre back. I don't care if he can pass the ball 30 yards or he's quick and all this. If you concede goals and you're largely part of the blame for it, in my eyes, you're struggling. But I think that's partly on Moyes, and I know you lost your other centre back, you ain't kicked the ball yet, and Bonner's not even come back and then gone again or whatever's happened with him.
Yeah,
I don't think he should have been starting yet, and pushing him out to right back, I think it was the right thing to do. And I don't know if Dawson's been injured. I think it's probably a couple of weeks too late as well, to be honest with you. But I think I thought that was good. I've seen on the comments that Mandy asking what I thought of Skamaka. Was that a comment I seen a minute ago? We had said the other day on one of your chats, I'm not sure a lot of these players are Moyes signings. So I think with the
goal though, didn't he?
He did. He's got ability. I don't think he's the most mobile centre forward in the world. I don't think he's. Well, I haven't seen him breaking the many sprints, so I don't know if he's very quick. He looks where he hit the goal from. He likes to linger around that area, like, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? Where really you probably want your centre forward. People moan about Harry Kane on the 6-yard box. I think he likes to hit him from a bit more further out. So I think you'll notice when the ball goes through a cross, you might see him dropping rather than attacking it. I don't think he's looked that much. I think Corney went off injured, did he? He didn't last long, did he?
No, he didn't. Just to bring you in, Josh. Can you see from just another neutral perspective that kind of all the players will come together for West Ham, and anything else you'd like to add about the game?
Yeah, we've said it before. You've spent a lot of money on very high-rated players, Paqueta, Skamaka, players like that. Even this Kerr, whatever his name is, he was quite highly rated. I know he's played in the Champions League final apparently before. He was quite highly rated when he come in. I think eventually it will come together. You've just said your upcoming fixtures there. I think you should be getting at least 7 points in the next 3 games. So I think if you do that, I think you're back on track then. I definitely think you'll come top off, maybe getting towards Europe again. I think it will gel. Vince Skamaka will score goals, but as Sean said, he's not the most mobile. He's quite like, I don't know if he is quite quick, but he is like, he's got a good build in him. He's one of them. He's like, it's a bit like Antonio, but probably not as mobile. But I still think he'll score the goals. Paqueta, he is very highly rated. What was like 45 million?
Paqueta, as they called him on the telly.
Paqueta. They said some say it's Paqueta, some say it's Paqueta. I don't know, but yeah, he's also very highly rated. I think he'll come good as well. But we're saying but when Moyes is so negative, it'll be hard to like get them all. They're quite attacking players, aren't they? They're not very David Moyes signings, so it's a bit. But I think it will. They will come good eventually. Did he get injured? Did he, Cornet?
Cornet felt something in his calf. David Moyes said after the game. He was probably, Sean, would you agree, one of the players that I thought didn't particularly drown himself in glory. He hasn't really kicked off with the best of starts. Yeah.
He's obviously he was at Burnley one day and he sort of did bits and bobs there. I don't know. He's going to be a stranger. We're just going to have to see. See what happens with him. I don't really know where he fits in because you've got to go. I think we've got to set up very attacking to get the most out of him. I think.
He can play fullback as well, can't he? He played there for Burnley a few times last season.
Yeah, I don't see Moyes fancying him as a fullback. To be quite honest with you.
Back, isn't he?
I don't want to keep repeating myself about not Moyes signings. Paqueta's not. He starts at Brazil, so he's a very talented boy. I don't think he's done loads yet. I know it's going to take him a while to settle in. I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to take a long time. I don't want to curse this. I think it's going to take Paqueta such a long time to settle in. By the time he settles in, he might want to go. Put it that way. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully not.
I don't know. I hope I'm wrong for you or your sake, but he's. Do you know? Remember, you had Payet. He got good and then thought, right, I'm too good for this. Do you remember? I've just got inklings of that again. I just don't know why. But
Yeah, fair enough.
He's got to fit him in. He's got to fit him in. He's played left in the front three for Brazil before. He can play either the left in the midfield in a free, or up front on the left of a free. So that's telling you how you get the best out of him.
Yeah.
It's just a matter whether Moyes unleashes him to do what he wants a bit. You know what Brazilians are like. They want to do what they want a bit. There hasn't been that many disciplined ones over the years, apart from the few holders like a Dunga. I forget his name, the chap that Arsenal had for years, and Man City you get the odd boring holder, but he's obviously not one of them. So it's worth keeping an eye on. But yeah, Fulham without Mitrovic are a different animal. So you might,
it might be a little bit different. Yeah.
You couldn't have timed that better, but it's at their place, is it? Or
no, it's at home.
Yeah. You might beat him then without Mitrovic. With Mitrovic, he is a handful. But again, I think they play good football. So it's another tight one. I know I keep banging the same drum and say it's a 50-50 game for West Ham, but it's going to be another close one. I think you'll probably need to... If you play the same as you did against Wolves, you've got a chance. But I don't know. I'll put West Ham in the category. Like I said, you haven't looked you're not very pretty to watch. You're grinding out results where it happens. But then I can put that same label on about 14 other teams. Do you know what I mean? It's not got up and running this season yet.
It's been a little bit flat, and it's and I'm sure when we'll come on to the Leeds Villa game in about 30 seconds, we will be having the same conversation. Let's just go through some of these comments, and then we'll move on to that one, then the Manchester derby, and then we can all go and have a cup of tea. Javi Hammer, slightly much needed, and asked for adaptations from Mr. Moyes. Exactly. The old West Ham are back, and we are having it now. Hopefully we can just carry on now. James says, Jake, have you done the Arsenal game yet? Was looking forward to that. Yeah, scroll back right to the start. It's the first thing we did. Arsenal versus Spurs. Sean was buzzing about it. Sharky says the game wasn't great to watch, but a win is a win. Usual Suspect says Vardy must be relieved to be playing tonight as as he gets away from his old woman for 90 minutes.
What a bag that is.
Anyway,
can't say that. I'll be in court.
The Sean Lewis versus Rebecca Vardy case. Javi Amaret, Dawson was great. The odd piece missing, exactly. Dawson everywhere. Dawson, one of the best buys in recent years, I agree. James, with the comment of the night, when it comes to plastic pitches, I don't think people can make comparisons, to be honest, referencing the Europa Conference League game a few weeks ago, unless they're plastic fans, of course. Wipe your hands on the way out, James. Very good. Very good. Sharky says, on Sky Sports, they had Dawson down as a right back. Well, they're just clueless, aren't they? They ain't got a clue what they're doing. He's Craig Dawson. Do you know this song, Sean? He cost £1 million and he's awesome.
No,
Cross the ball and he scores them. It's Craig
Funny enough, I've never heard that. Was it usually about 3 people singing that in the ground? It doesn't come over on the telly.
Better than Eric Dyer loves me, Eric Dyer loves you, and all the rubbish you sing.
At least they sing it loud enough for you to know it anyway.
Yeah, funny. 3-1 win against Fulham, says Sharky, sorry. Get your money on 1-0 against Southampton away. If you know, you know. Right then, let's get on to it. Josh, you've been waiting all day to talk about Leeds United 0, Aston Villa 0. You've got the platform. Go, go, go.
Honestly, sometimes you just think to yourself, how
am I doing here?
How have we not won the game? Like, to be honest, first off, it was quite even. It weren't the most, like Southampton, it weren't the most exciting first off. Probably still a bit better than the Southampton first off. That was dreadful, but it still weren't the best of games. Both teams had a few half chances. You'd say they probably had the better ones, to be honest. And then second off, Sinister gets sent off, obviously. Second yellow. The first one just off the counter, it was a yellow. And the second one, I think he kicked the ball away. I can't even remember now. Something stupid.
Yeah. I think he put his leg up, even though he weren't 10 yards away from a free kick.
When he was trying to take a free kick, yeah. So yeah, he gets sent off. That was like 50th minute, like very start of the second half. So we just had chance after chance after chance, just couldn't score. Honestly, Ollie Watkins is he's such a frustrating player. It's like sometimes he'll like cut in the steppos or whatever and bang one in the top corner. Sometimes he tries to do that every time now, cut in with the step overs and then try and bend it, and or he'll just miss. Do you know what I mean? It's like his finishing is it's just so hit and miss. It's unbelievable. Like, and it's like sometimes he'll bend one in the top corner like that, and sometimes he'll just blaze one over the bar. Or the amount of chances he had is just ridiculous against Leeds yesterday, and he's just such a frustrating player because he's quite mobile as well. He holds the ball up a lot. He runs the channels. But yesterday he couldn't even do that. He was getting knocked off the ball. He was just missing chance after chance. It's just, if we're going to go to that next level, like the owners keep saying, we need a new striker like Ings, Watkins. They're okay for bottom half Premier League. I think Ings has had his best days now. You're never going to get him scoring 20 goals a season like he used to with Southampton. If you're going to go to that next level, we need I would have loved Suarez. It looked like that was nailed on at the start of the window, and then don't know what happened after. Them rumours just faded away, and he's gone back home now. I think to Uruguay to play for the team over there. But no, the amount of chances.
He bit Steven Gerrard, and he went, "Well, I don't want you anymore,
Yeah, but the performance it was better. But even the first half when we never had 10 minutes, it was better. It was an improvement to what I've been like so far this season. It was improvement for Southampton. I thought John McGinn, who's been really poor so far this season, he was a lot better. Still not great, but better. I think it's a bit like the situation with Souček with McGinn. He used to be a really, really good player, probably our best player. But last couple of seasons he has dipped a bit. But yeah, he was a lot better. But it's just second half with the 10 minutes. I just don't know. And it's got to be fair, we actually got a few decisions off the ref as well. They were going mad, the Leeds fans. I'm not sure you saw, but which was nice because we can never usually get anything off the ref. But
you don't know what you're doing. Rang around Ellen Road at one point, didn't it? I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about the ref going around Ellen Road, but. Yeah, I really just don't know how we didn't score, honestly. It was just, they had a few chances first off for the 10 minutes. As I say, first off, probably had the best chances, but there weren't a lot of them. We had both full-backs injured, Ashley Young and, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, some guy who we got from... don't
you know your players' names, Josh?
We got Augustinson or something. I don't know. He's German. We got him from Sevilla. Like a backup left back. He had to go off hamstring injury as well. So now we haven't actually got a proper left back. We've got Young, but Young was playing right back. So we had to move Ezri Konsa to right back and put Ashley Young left back. So it was just a bit as for the full backs, we've just had no depth after Augustinson went off. So you have to play a centre back at right back. That's maybe if we had Matthew Cash or Luca Dean going forward for full backs, might have done something. They can cross it. They're just better going forward, and our centre back, Ezri Konsa, will be. Do you know what I mean? It's it was just really, really frustrating. I just had a feeling that we weren't going to score. It was chance after chance. I said 65th minute, we're not going to score here. I could just feel it. We weren't. Created so many chances, and we nearly lost it as well in the last minute. They had a counter attack, and Martinez had to make a really. It was the last ditch block by John McGinn. We nearly lost it. If we would have lost it, I would have given up. To be honest, after that, it's just unreal. But as I say, with injuries aren't helping us. There's two signature signings, Diego Carlos and Kamara, both injured both got long-term injuries after 6 games. So. That's not good. So it's basically the same team as last season. As I say, with the fullbacks injured as well, the new backup fullback had to go off, and even he's not great. As I said, I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. He's just like a steady Eddie left back, typical left back, not great going forward. Not really. It's just one of them, not too great going forward. it's just like.
I'll tell you what, you deserve a round of applause for talking about that for 5 minutes. A big round of applause. Now, Sean's got some Tottenham shirt behind him. Now, get rid of that, Sean. No one that there.
That's my jacket, Tanganga match worn shirt.
Match war. No, that's all right. I thought you'd actually gone to the Spurs shop and bought a Tanganga shirt.
No, match worn one.
Right, let's take some of your comments. Terry, where is the Velvetizer? This is a kind of a joke, you know. Every time we go to away days, we go to Terry's house. He's got his very fancy coffee machine that he takes out, you know, when we go in the car. I bought myself a hot chocolate machine. It's very, very fancy. And Terry wants to see it. I'll show you it one day, Terry. Don't worry. 16th of October. I'll show you. It was lovely to see Tottenham Stadium being used for its rightful purposes yesterday. Well, you know, they take the mick out of us for our stadium and everything else, but you know, they're just sitting there having flipping NFL in there. You know, not a proper stadium, is it? You know.
Well, I'm sure everyone's seen how the stadium works and the pitch works and how the dressing room works and all that malarkey. It is very
well. I suppose, to be fair, Sean, you lot have got to fund them singers you put in the concourses before the game to get some sort of atmosphere going. So
it's you haven't got a concourse at your ground, have you?
We have got a concourse. Thank you very much.
Well,
we've got a complex, a concourse, a Heineken bar. We've got everything, Sean. Don't you worry about us.
Yeah, you just don't get the money from what you're selling there. It's just that goes to someone. That goes to us taxpayers. We get that back. Is that part of the deal?
Yeah.
Do we get that back? I don't know. But no, the NFL. Not an NFL fan, but obviously the stadium. They can. I can't remember how many hours it takes to change it. Literally, I think there's who's that bloke that Hammond who used to do Top Gear? There's a documentary he does where they show the actual grass pitch goes underneath the stand and gets kept heated by infrared lights, and the NFL pitch is underneath it, and they just slowed it. I think it's in three pieces the grass pitch, and then it just comes back out and seamlessly goes back together.
I tell you what, Josh, you can tell Harry Kane didn't come up with that idea. That's a bit too complicated for him, isn't it? Anyway, right, moving on to Manchester Derby. We are running a bit behind tonight. We've talked about everything. Manchester City 6. Manchester United 3. Well, it really should be 6-1 without a couple of, you know, Man City couldn't be bothered at the end. They might as well just got some deck chairs out. They just gave up, really. They knew they won. The constant panning to Cristiano Ronaldo on the subspace, looking happy as ever. Not good at Manchester United. As Eric Ten Hag after the game comes out and says, I didn't want to ruin Ronaldo's reputation by bringing him on. Haaland and Foden with hat tricks. The relentless Man City train continues. Sean?
Well, you've just covered it all, haven't you? Yeah, I think the result, I think I haven't seen any United fans say, it's quite close in the end. I think they're just about bright enough to realise it was a bit of a false scoreline, 6-3. Man City sort of took their foot off a bit, didn't they? Let them have it. I think Man City just do the damage when they want to do it, basically. Obviously, Haaland...
They turn the button on and off, don't they?
Yeah, Haaland... Not enough been said about De Bruyne again. He's been absolutely class. I think his assist, I think it was Haaland's second, where he sort of bent it through the whole defence. And I don't know, Haaland's a monster. He's huge, isn't he? He seems to have legs that come out of anywhere. Ball looks behind him, and he'll put out like an outstretched left foot and the outside of it. And a lot of his finishes, he looks very awkward, but obviously means what he does. He's just a 12-yard box beast, isn't he? Basically, around the 12-yard penalty spot area. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got one from outside the box, but anything that goes in there, he's a beast in that area. I'm not sure he hardly even touched the ball for the first half an hour either. So he's one of them.
Like Man City and Haaland have just got their switches. They just turn on and off. Haaland is a joke, and it makes him only scoring 2 goals against us look good at the moment. 3 hat-tricks in 8 games. It took the Michael Owen 40 games longer, and that's the closest anyone's ever got.
But a lot of it is as well, and I think we did sort of say this at the beginning of the season. It's just because now they've got such a menace up front. Not just a menace, he's a monster physically, isn't he? You've got one player marking him, and you probably need a second one having an eye on him. If you're doing that against Man City, someone else has got space. Do you know what I mean? That's the problem. So if Haaland's not touching the ball for half an hour, I think in the first couple of games, they only touched the ball about 15 times, and 2 of them were kickoffs or something stupid. but he's occupying at least 1.5 players. When I say 1.5 players, you can't just leave someone one-on-one. So someone's going to have a little eye on him, sort of covering. So that's where they're going to be dangerous. And I'm going to go right back to the beginning of the show when I said I don't think many teams look that great. I know the World Cup can mess it all up, but I'm already looking at Man City and I'm wondering if they could do the Invincibles a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They might be pouring one game and slip up. It's obviously possible, but this year Liverpool are going to have to turn it on to beat them big time.
No one. I'll say what. No one is getting anywhere near them. Go on, Josh.
I think Arsenal and Spurs have got more chance than Liverpool of getting close to them.
No, still not Spurs.
Well, Spurs did a double over them last year. Look, and we actually do. We didn't have Haaland, but our record against Man City is pretty good. I think we beat him at home a few times, so I give us a better chance of beating them than most of the teams in the league this year because I know we can do it. But I'm trying to make a case who's going to beat them because usually you get a plucky sort of mid-table. Maybe, I don't know if Man City played Brighton yet because Brighton probably one of the better sides even with a new manager. But usually you look at you're probably going to tell me they stuffed them, but then again Brighton.
Manchester City v Brighton. No, 22nd of October.
Yeah, but again Brighton like to play football, and the open teams that play football they could get destroyed. So I'm looking. Usually see like a plucky mid-table side. You think, oh, they might struggle.
Palace beat them last year, didn't they? And...
Yeah, but I'm looking at this year and I'm thinking, who are these? Did you give them 2 good games you last year? I think.
Yeah. And beat them in the cup and drew at home.
And already this season, you look like you're on the beach when you played them. So I'm looking at the league table this year, and other team. Even Arsenal. I don't think they'll live with them. I don't. No. I think the league table's a bit false at the moment. I think Arsenal probably had it quite easy, not knock it point to point, but I think they had it a bit easy in a lot of games. I think they were gift wrapped it a bit by us at the weekend. I don't think like I said, I don't think Lloris, he didn't keep us in the game. So the game was a little bit gift wrapped. But you've got to be careful with a team like Arsenal because they're a team that like the ball. Other teams, probably a bit like West Ham against Man City, Tottenham against most teams, we're happy letting teams have the ball. So it's easy to get blinkered by seeing teams pass, 65% possession. That doesn't necessarily make you a good football team. No. It just means often it means teams let you do what you want with it. Yeah. But yeah, they've had their luck on their side. I think you'll know when it's not on luck's not on Arsenal side because you'll have fans be out there crying for something. But Man City, United, they're gonna win. You covered it earlier. They're gonna beat a few. They're gonna lose a few. That's just the nature of what they're going to do. But Man City, they're not going to... I think they hold every single record for most points, most goals, least conceded, most wins, everything. Don't be surprised if they break one of them records this year because
100%.
I don't... They got it everywhere. Like the goalies class, they got the defence decent enough.
The whole team, second team, and third team are class.
Also as well, like... I think they another class that Alvarez is it Julius Alvarez?
Yeah, Julian. Yeah,
he's going to be class. He's one of the top stars in South America, so he's going to take a while to bed in. So don't be surprised. Come maybe after the World Cup of next season, he looks world class. Yeah. But if they keep De Bruyne fit and Haaland fit, it's hard to defend against. Even Foden, I think Foden splits a few. He's obviously very talented, but he splits a few. Where he's going to finally make it. He got a hat-trick. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, for sure. And, Happy Hammer says Man United fans sneaking out of the stadium. Well, they wanted to get the 3:00 train back to London, didn't they? Because there was a train strike and, they wanted to get the best train back. Josh, give us a quick fire prediction for Leicester versus Forest that kicks off in 5 minutes.
I've got the teams in front of me and I think, to be fair, Forest actually... with most of the more highly rated players on the bench.
Lingard playing or not?
Lingard is playing, yeah.
Let it go, Jake. Let it go.
Don't bother me. He's been rubbish. Don't bother me.
I think 0-0.
0-0? Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. Forest have been great and Leicester have been rubbish. So, And Sean, prediction?
Who's up front for Leicester, Josh?
Vardy.
Who's a striker? I can't think of his name. They bought.
Daka.
Yeah, is he
Daka,
playing?
yeah.
No, he's on the bench.
Oh, is he? I quite rate him actually. I think Leicester are still half decent going forward. I think they'll nick it 2-1.
Oh, fair enough. With just 1 point on the board, Sean reckons 2-1. I'm going to go 1-1. Two rubbish sides coming up against each other. 0-0, 1-1, and 2-1 are our predictions. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us on this edition of the Premier League Roundup Show right here on West Ham Unofficial. Thanks for all your comments, Josh and Sean. Pleasure as always. I will catch up with you next week as we enter game week 10 of the Premier League. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Cheers, guys. Au revoir and bye-bye.
All right.